Baynes with a slam dunk underneath. Here's Baynes the three, and he connects. Lowry and Van Vliet right there. And a turnover. OG to the rim, the two-handed slam, and a timeout taken by Stan Van Gundy.
You just sort of sense some of your team's energy disappear in that third quarter with all those missed three-pointers. Is that kind of what got to them?
It sure looked like it, right? It zapped our energy pretty big time, I thought, Doug. And I think it might have been they hit 9 for 10 and we went 0 for 10? 1 for 10?
7 for 8 and 0 for 10.
Yeah.
And the shot is good. Ingram has 20 points in the largest lead for the Pelicans.
Well, this third quarter drought has really hurt the Raptors.
And that is a three that is good. And J.J. Redick.
It's still our fourth game of playing 5-on-5 basketball, and so you know, it's the first real game of the season, and we're not happy. You know, there's definitely a lot of stuff we can work on and get better with, but the foundation is there, and we're getting to understand each other in the offense, and we got to clean those things up, and then it'll look a lot cleaner.
But the Pelicans are going to come away with this opening night victory against the Toronto Raptors, 113-99 over the Toronto Raptors.
G'day, Aron Baynes. I was born in Gisborne, New Zealand. Mum and Dad moved to Australia when I was a baby, and so I was raised in Australia, and all I can remember is growing up in Australia. You know, we had a couple trips back to New Zealand, but yeah, raised in the green and gold and always wanted to represent Australia. You know, I remember my first sporting memory was watching the '92 Olympics and knowing I wanted to get to an Olympics and wear the green and gold and represent Australia at some point. You know, basketball definitely wasn't a part of the town where I grew up in. You know, I grew up in a small rural area, and it was rugby league and it was soccer. And, you know, I picked rugby league first and foremost, you know, being the younger brother. My brother had played league growing up, and so I wanted to do what he did. And so I played rugby league for most of my younger life, and had a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, it was one of those things where it just came down to it wasn't really a love for me. I enjoyed playing it, but it wasn't something I could see myself doing it.
The AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas, opened in 2002, and the Spurs have won 4 of their world titles in that building. And Aron Baynes returns to where it all began for him in the NBA. He was a member of that 2014 Spurs championship team, along with Kawhi Leonard and, of course, Danny Green.
When my brother actually went to university, he was 6'8" at the time, and one of the people he was in university with told him to come and play some basketball with his team, and so my brother went and did that. And then it came up that he had a younger brother who was also 6'8", so they said he's got to come down and play with us too. So, you know, I kind of went along and figured if he's doing it, I can do it better. So, you know, that younger brother syndrome, always competitive, and so because of him I started playing basketball. And as soon as I stepped on the court, and after my first day of playing basketball, I knew that it was a fun one, and I loved it, and it was something that I could really see myself growing into and really dedicating myself to as well. So, you know, I kind of actually made a decision to move to a bigger city at that point and finished my last 2 years of school down there as well, so I could start playing basketball more full-time and try and make something of it.
Both Paddy and Aron spent many hours on the courts here in Canberra at the Australian Institute of Sport, and also attended Lake Ginninderra College.
Any time I get to represent Australia, you know, that's why I love putting on the green and gold every summer, and going out there and playing with these bunch of guys. And it was made even sweeter that Paddy and I first played together when, you know, I was 17 and he was 15, just down the road here at the Institute, and we got to hold this thing together as well, so it's pretty special.
there was a lot of recognition at the Institute of Sport down there in Australia because of Andrew Bogut had been through there, and everyone was coming down to find the next Andrew Bogut, and they wanted to find the next great international player.
Logan blocks the shot, game over!
It was just me down there and, you know, a few other boys, but they weren't going to get the next Andrew Bogut, but the first Aron Baynes was down there, so, you know, I figured I'd give it a crack and try and fool a few people and get a free education out of it as well. So I knew I wanted to go to a big conference, and so I spent 4 years there at Washington State, and I played under Tony Bennett. So, you know, I really appreciated my time and still have some good mates from my time in college. And, yeah, I went undrafted post-college, though, and then I made my way over to Europe. Ended up playing in Lithuania, Germany, Greece, Slovenia, and I played with a number of guys. And, you know, my first year as a professional, I was there in Lithuania playing for Lietuvos Rytas, and had young Jonas as one of our guys on the team as well. So 17-year-old Jonas was there running around, and that was the first time I got to play alongside him. There was definitely big expectations of what his career was going to be, and it was fun to see him work and come along, and watch his career develop as well. You know, I saw his career arc, and, you know, when I was over there in Europe playing for the next few years, and he had been able to come over here and play, I figured that, you know, I might as well give it a crack as well.
How about the numbers game one for Aron Baynes as a Raptor? 11 points, 9 rebounds, 28 minutes, almost exactly what you expect and hope to get at least offensively from Baynes.
I think my first year in Europe, you know, it was a good wake-up call for me. You know, I'd been in college, and it wasn't really the cutthroat what it is playing professionally. You know, in college you can have a bad game and everyone's going to support you and everyone's keep backing you, and, you know, as soon as you get over to Europe and you have a bad game, you realize that, okay, if you have 2 bad games, you might be gone the next week. So, you know, it's a little bit different when you're playing professionally over there, and everything really counts. And it was a bit of a learning curve my first couple of months there when I was in Lithuania. But, you know, I was able to take it in stride and really started developing my game to try and continue to stay a pro athlete, and that's what I really wanted to do. And I knew at the time I wasn't, you know, near my ceiling of what I wanted to be able to do when I was on the basketball court. And so every single day was a lot of work, but, you know, grinding to continue to get better. And then I was fortunate that I was playing in the EuroLeague, which I didn't understand at the time how big of a deal it was. My first few games, you know, playing in the EuroLeague, and everyone's talking about devotion and what it means. And, you know, I was kind of just, all right, we're just going out playing a game. But then I realized, you know, I'd said it all along when I signed there that, you know, I was going to play in the second best league, but it's a little bit different when you realize that it really is the second best league, and there's a lot on the line every single game, and you want to go out there and contribute to your team's success. And as soon as I kind of came to terms with that, you know, I knew what it was about, and that was when I really started trying to take those steps to become more of a pro and, you know, do the right things every single day to try and contribute to my success on the court and the success of the team.
The first meeting on the books between the Toronto Raptors and the San Antonio Spurs. The starting 5 for the Toronto Raptors, much like the starting 5 that opened up the season against New Orleans back in Tampa. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and former San Antonio Spur Aron Baynes.
Dunk it inside for the big man. 6'10", 255-pound Aron Baynes. He played at Washington State.
Yeah, I was definitely lucky and thankful that San Antonio was my first stop. Coming from Europe, I'd played with, you know, that European system for a number of years, and I had been part of a multicultural team, and, you know, that was what was so great about coming into the NBA, into San Antonio, was that we were very multicultural. We had guys from 8 different countries on the team when I first got there, and then, you know, I was also fortunate that I was playing with one of my mates in Patty Mills.
To the hole. Oh, Baynes with a left hand tip down. How about that one? The Australian teammates hook up here.
I had the Boomers head coach at the time, and Brett Brown was also there. So there was a lot of different things that made that situation very comfortable for me from the get-go. And you know, even though you're sitting there and you kind of, in the first day, I remember I sat down in my locker, and then the first person who walks in was the guy who I looked up to from basketball when I first started. My first coach sat me down and said, look, if you can emulate anything this guy does, then you're going to be on the right track. And, you know, Tim Duncan was the one who first walks into the locker room, and he comes over to me and says, "G'day." Well, you know, that's a bit of a pinch yourself moment right there.
And we're wondering what happened with Tim and Aron Baynes. Actually, I think knocked the wind out of him. They were joking and laughing.
That was when it started kicking in that, all right, I've got my foot in this door. Let's break it open and try and find a way to stay in here for as long as you can.
There's Baynes with that baby hook in the lane. He has averaged 20 or more points in 7 consecutive years. There's Baynes.
Hey, I tell you
on
what,
the inside.
You know who's buying dinner tonight? Aron Baynes getting the ball.
Baynes, what a great start. 9 of the Raptors' 21 points inspired against San Antonio.
Yeah, it's always been fun playing against Toronto, and, you know, especially when you're there, it's always a good place to go into and play. You know, there's a lot of hometown support, and it's been fun going out there, but it's also been tough going up there to get wins. You know, as of late, it's been one of the toughest places to play on the road, so I'm definitely looking forward to being able to get that opportunity and go up there, hopefully later on in the year, to play some games in front of the home crowd fans. But until then, we'll be looking to do them proud and represent Toronto as well as we can down here in Tampa, and hopefully make it a tough place to play down here in Tampa as well. So, like you said, I've faced off against them a fair few times over the last few years, and I know what they're about, and I'm just excited to be able to come in here and contribute and try and allow them to get back to that pinnacle.
Stripped away by Powell. Norm attacking, unable to finish, but trailing Boucher. Sends it to Johnson, and how about the denial by Boucher?
A record-setting night blocking shots. Unbelievable.
Fred launches a deep three. Good.
Wow, what a game for Fred. 27 points, 9 assists.
Raptors by 4. Aldridge doubled. DeRozan a 3. Got it. How about DeMar DeRozan? The help comes. Loose ball. DeRozan on a kick out. Mills misses. Up on the glass. Aldridge fading. Banks it in. Here's OG. Fred. The 3. And it doesn't go. Last time the Raptors were in this situation, 2 games under 500, December 2013. And the game comes to a close. San Antonio wins it, 119-114.
I think it's an adjustment for the new faces. That's one. I really can't. I think it's more than one thing. I think, you know, it's 2 games. I think, you know, shortened preseason. You know, I think there's a lot of things that goes into that. You know, everybody making an adjustment, trying to figure it out. And, you know, your defense should be, you know, a little bit more ahead of your offense right now. And we're just kind of even right now with everything. And it's a brand new situation for everybody. But, you know, we're 0-2, and I haven't been this record in a long time. Oops, sorry. So we got to figure it out sooner or later for our team.
Toronto Raptors will start the season 0-3, and Philadelphia improves to 2-2. the Toronto Raptors fall in Philadelphia. A tough, hard-fought loss for the Raptors, certainly disappointing.